Hello and welcome to Warsaw, to the Warsaw Uprising Museum for this new edition of Inside Poland, our special talk show entirely dedicated to the Polish presidency of the European Union. As you know, the presidency started on July 1st. Well, today we're going to talk about Poland's diplomatic role within the EU and within the world, And in order to do so, I'm glad to introduce you to my guest here on the set. First, to my right, Roman Kuchnia. Hello. You're the advisor to the President of the Republic of Poland, Mr. Bronisław Komorowski.
Right.
To my right again, John Godson. Hello. You're a man who made history here in Poland. You became the first black MP in the Polish parliament. I add that you were born in Nigeria.
Yes.
Now, to my left, Mr. Sergiusz Nayar. Hello, you're a banker. You represent the left on this set because you were very close, and you're still very close, I should say, to former President Aleksander Kwaśniewski and Prime Minister Marek Belka. And last but not least, to my left, Bartłomiej Nowak. Hello, you're the Executive Director of the Center for International Relations. It's an influential think tank based here in Warsaw. Well, before we start our discussion, let's watch our report brought to us by our Brussels correspondent, Katarina Landaburu. As you will see, Poland, the EU's largest former communist state, is indeed pulling its weight on the European diplomatic scene.
This imposing building that opened last month is the home of the Polish representation to the EU. The brand new office is 10,000 square metres in size and is located just 200 metres from the European Commission and Council. It's a symbol of Poland's success within the EU and its willingness to leave a mark on Europe by the time its 6 months at the helm have come to an end.
It shows that the Poles are not just recipients of the European project. They also contribute to the construction of this European project. We have no inferiority complex. The Poles are ready to work hard for this presidency.
Apart from the fact that the President of the European Parliament, Jerzy Buzek, is a Polish diplomat scooped a top job with Catherine Ashton earlier this year. Thanks to his lobbying in Warsaw, Maciej Popowski became the Deputy Secretary General of the new Foreign Affairs wing of the European Union, showing that Poland's pro-American days are well over.
I think it's changed. I think we have, even the opposition understand that there is a place for America in our external relations, in our hearts, in our economic life as well. But Europe is just our home, so it's part of us, we are part of Europe, and it's not an alternative.
A big challenge for Poland now will be to show leadership, especially in Eastern Europe. And some aspiring EU member candidate countries will be heavily reliant on them.
For the moment, unfortunately, Ukraine has failed to achieve a European perspective. That's why we're really counting on the Poles to be our driving force.
But before contemplating further EU enlargement, Poland will first have to reconcile its current partners and give a new meaning to the term European solidarity.
Take Denmark and their policies on Schengen. Take France and Italy on Schengen. Take the cucumber story between Spain and Germany, etc., etc. Of course, Greece. All of that is there's an underlying lack of trust or growing lack of trust. And this is where Poles can be helpful.
This is the message illustrated in the Polish EU presidency promotional clip. The metaphor sees Poland call on Europe to dance the waltz of change.
I'd like to start with you, Mr. Kuchnia. Your country is part of the so-called Visegrad Group, which is an alliance of countries in Central Europe. There's, of course, Poland, there's Hungary, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic. Would you say that the voice of Poland is being heard in Brussels?
Oh, yes, indeed. It not only because of the, I would say, competence value of our diplomacy, but also because we feel, and sometimes we are surprised how much countries which are around here in the region, they see us as a representative of the region, which obviously makes us somehow responsible, because we want to use our presence not only as the chance to show how much we are able to preside over Europe, but also how much we may take over, may take also of the interest of those who recently joined the European Union, and how much we will be involved into the further reunification of Europe, which is unfinished business.
I think Poland was always playing such a role, and in 2002, when we were joining European Union, I was part of the socialist government negotiating this historical decision, Copenhagen decision in December 2002, symbolically 13th of December, was a difficult one because of Poland, because Poland was the largest of the 10 new accession countries, and all countries had to take into account this. When we took a controversial decision going with a geopolitical process in Iraq and taking part in the alliance which was initiated by the United States of America, we also has been identified in Europe as a country which has a geopolitical presence, and even if today we have more critical assessment of the past, it is not changing the fact that we are a strong participant in the largest European Euro-Atlantic discussions.
I would say that we are new pragmatism on the European map, so this is meaningful, contrary to the past. And we know how to play the game in the EU, which is very important, not only to block decisions, but also to create policies. So this is very important. We're the only green zone or green island of economic growth among the lands of recession, which was very impressive on the European map. And last but not least, we've got very good relation with Germany and a changing relation with Russia. And these three factors are putting Poland in definitely better place today.
Mr. Godson, is that your feeling as well, that Poland has become some kind of spokesperson for this region of Europe, which for far too long was isolated and is now completely reintegrated within the EU?
Yeah, there is no doubt that Poland is a leader within the East and Central Europe because of the reasons my colleagues here have mentioned. The fact that it is the largest of all the new members, within the region, and the fact also that historically the fall of communism started in Poland, and so I believe that Poland, with its experience and with its policies and with its example, is indeed a leader.
One of the heroes of the, I should say, the end of communism, Mr. Lech Walesa, traveled recently to Tunisia to try and share his experience with politicians there. We've also seen your foreign minister, Mr. Sikorski, meet the rebels in Libya, and yet it looks like Poland, like Germany, isn't ready to take part in the military action there in Libya. Why is that you're so reluctant to embark on this military action?
Well, for many reasons. We see this operation very much unclear concerning both military and political strategy. But also it is because the solution of Libyan crisis lies not in the number of F-16, because the key to the solution is not military instruments. Only France would be able to win this operational war.
But they said they can't win alone, and there's a lot of pressure on Poland and Germany
we think that we might do much better job supporting political transformation, political process in Northern Africa, because we have a very much credible experience, which is really credible because we remember that time, what we were doing 20 years ago. It's still in our blood, it's still in our mind, it's not theory. So it seems to us that, and we have no direct interest in the region, because we are not colonial country.
In as much, I would agree that Polish reaction in not getting involved militarily is all right. I accept it. But I would disagree that Poland does not have any interest in North Africa. I believe that Poland should not only concentrate on its eastern interests.
Ukraine, Belarus.
Yes, I believe that Poland should become more actively involved in initiating policies, implementing policies in several parts of the world.
We
I
do
believe
it
that's
without using F-16, without using Mirage.
Mr. Nayar, was it a mistake to not join
No,
France and the US?
It was not a mistake, and I disagree with the Secretary of Defense Gates, who outgoing, by the way, he's going from his
Putting a lot of
position.
pressure on you
Well,
to...
but this is nice of
We
somebody
resisted
going
that, we
out.
resisted that.
It's nice when somebody's going out and is putting now pressure. So I fully agree. If not taking part in the military action, first of all, it's not working, it's not efficient, it's creating more confusion and unfortunately civilian casualties, and we wouldn't like to be part of such a process. And even more important, a country which is taking responsibilities of presidency of the European Union has to stay away from military interventions in such a situation. We have to be in a position to mediate, to look for...
But this shows that Europe is very divided. on the
No,
question.
it's not shows. It's not in an orchestra. Not everyone plays a violin.
No,
In
but
an orchestra, everyone is doing the best he can.
historically, Poland is quite active. We are in Kosovo, we are in Afghanistan, we are in Iraq.
2,600 soldiers in Afghanistan, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. But if-
Our
yeah.
reluctance to take part of the operation against Libya, it is also the lesson we are drawing from our involvement into Iraq and Afghanistan, Afghan operation. And
Yeah.
we know that
So this is one of
yeah.
the cases. But I would say that there are some important policies which we can discuss. For example, there is a constitutional moment now in Egypt. We'll have an election. We've got a number of political parties. So in this kind of issues, we've got an experience.
Mr. Kuźnia, advisor to the President of the Republic of Poland, let's talk about Poland's special relationship with the United States. A couple of years ago, America was still regarded as Poland's big friend for historic reasons that we can understand. Would you say that this has changed? Are Polish people gradually starting to see their defense interests, I should say, within Europe, or is America still the big savior?
Yeah, exactly. Well, with the United States, we do have right now very good normal relationship. Not
No
a special-
longer emotional.
Well, there is quite an emotion, at least for some people, and for good reasons you mentioned. But now we do have a very good normal relationship. We do not aspire to be to have, as it was in the past a few years ago, strategic relationship, privileged relationship, and special. No, it's not anymore the question. It is for many reasons. It is also because people started to appreciate their presence in the European Union. They realized that the European Union is more vital from the point of view of their all interest in economic, security, civilization development, etc., etc. So the point is that people, most of them, they much before politicians realized that it is Europe which is first from Polish point of view. While for many politicians it was for rather reasons which were not accepted, which not understood by average people, by simple people, that we joined America in adventure against Iraq, then missile defense affair, etc., etc. So we think that close relations with the US are still important, but obviously our, I would say, wisdom is Europe first.
Well, gentlemen, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there as we're running out of time, but it was a pleasure to have you on our set, Mr. Kuźnia, Mr. Nayar, Mr. Godson, and Mr. Nowak. And it's almost a tradition now on Inside Poland. Before we finish this show, we'll meet a famous Polish artist I let you discover. Well, I'm here just outside Warsaw to meet one of Poland's most famous film directors, Andrzej Żuławski. He's the author of such films as Possession or My Nights Are More Beautiful Than Your Days, a film which features his former wife, Sophie Marceau. Mr. Żuławski, it's a pleasure to meet you. Through your eyes of a filmmaker, how would you describe Poland and Polish people more than 20 years after the fall of communism?
A country, I think, trying successfully, I must say, to become absolutely normal, which is resembling all the others without any salient, any particular darts of expression. It's okay. It's Holland. It's very fine with me. It's very civilized. It's very correct, I would say. But it loses interest by the day. What Poland gained into the '89 revolution, I must say, into today, it's the rise of the bourgeoisie, the little bourgeoisie with their tastes and smells.
Do you feel optimistic for Poland and Polish people?
Yes, I'm a bit more optimistic about this country's fate than about any other country's fate in Europe. It's the space of my lifetime. I was born in 1940 in Lwów under Soviet occupation, and they were killing Soviets and Germans like everybody. So you can complain, yell at the water and the whatever, and my 150 euros per month is not enough too. It is enough too. It's not true. It depends on what scale do you measure these things. But please understand, I'm optimistic about Europe in general, as a project, as an idea. And I still don't understand who's Mr. Van Rompuy, and I still don't think much of Mr. Barroso. But the general idea is right.
Andrzej Żuławski, thank you very much indeed for having us here at your house in Warsaw. Well, that's it for this edition of Inside Poland, our special program entirely devoted to the Polish presidency of the European Union. We'll return next month, so please stay with us on France 24. From all of us here in Warsaw, goodbye.